This is the center of the high school sports universe. The PrepSpin Podcast. We are PrepSpin. We are your school, your sport, your team, your game. Live from the BGO studio. Presented by Mingy Beef Jerky. This is the one and only. The man, the myth, the legend. This is the king of stream. William Warfield. William Warfield.
All right, what's up, everybody? William Warfield here with you, and another great edition coming up here of the PrepSpin Podcast here on PrepSpin.com, and I'm excited tonight. We got Therese Wright and Marques Warrick joining us here this evening. Of course, everybody knows Quez from Henry Clay High School. He's a Mr. Basketball candidate, and did some outstanding things over there for Henry Clay. Let me just kind of remind you here just for a second. Let me pull up a clip or two of Marques and show you what I'm talking about, because we've got plenty of clips of Quez in action. Check this one out. This is him throwing one down, I believe, against Madison Central here in this clip. Central able to get it up ahead, and now the Blue Devils take it away. Warrick dunks. That's what we were talking about. That's what he must have heard me. He must have heard me. Because the last game I kind of got on a little bit. I was like, man, I thought he was going to dunk, but he didn't dunk. Tonight he dunks. All right, welcome to the show, guys. Man, I have to tell you, I appreciate you guys joining us here tonight. And it's such a great topic as well, because we get to talk about, the recruitment process from a parent's perspective, and then you brought Mr. Basketball, possibly Mr. Basketball, with you. Marques, just an added treat here tonight, and we appreciate you guys joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you for having us.
Yeah, let me crank your all's volume up just a little bit on my end. That way people back at home can hear you a little bit better. And,
okay.
Yeah, here we go. I think that's good right there. So, Therese, why don't you tell us, what it's all about, what it is to be the mother of a highly recruited basketball star?
First of all, it's a humbling experience. It's very humbling. But, Quest is humble. So that makes it all the more better. Also, as a mom of someone who, was recruited, I had to constantly just remind him to be himself. And I also reminded him to be who Christ has made him to be. And to also, to continue, to be that mannerly young man. And, to stand up for the values that he has been taught.
Yeah, and such a great kid, too. And, playing over at Henry Clay, I think, has just been all that much more positive for Quez, just watching him shine over there under Coach Brown and seeing all the great things that he's done over his career there at Henry Clay.
That's right. Exactly. Quest is a 4-year varsity. Coach Brown has done, and the coaching staff, they have done a tremendous job with Quest. I love Henry Clay, the school itself. I said, it's a high academic school. And of course, when it comes to the athletics, it's rich in tradition. And so, I'm just grateful for that.
Yeah, and you as a parent too. I mean, you've raised a great son as well.
Well, thank you. One of the things that I've always told him, to be who you are, whether I am around or whether I'm not around, you continue to be the same person that you are. I've spoken to him. I said, you know what? Profanity, that doesn't add to your sentence. It doesn't add to your point. You don't need to use profanity as a plus, as a Christian, you don't have to use profanity. You speak, you speak the English language. And and I believe, that's what he does. And for me, when I get emails or even on his report card, the notes from his teachers telling me what a wonderful young man he is, what a joy it is to have a student, like Quest in their class. Those are the things that makes me proud to know that, he is handling himself the way that he has been taught.
Talk to me about his career there at Henry Clay from your perspective, and then maybe talk to us about how the whole recruiting thing started.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Goodness, it has been. Whoosh, you need, you got to be tough as a parent, because the amount of criticism, the amount of backbiting, the amount of negativity, that you get when you have a child that's talented and that's gifted. The thing is, what I've told people, Quest always had a goal. He had a vision. He loves the game. He doesn't only play the game, but he studies the game. He's a student of the game. And that's one of the things that I also, like with Coach Brown. He has them studying films, So from Quest was going to starting his freshman year, Quest knew what his vision was, what his goal was. He wanted to play at the next level. So my job, when he went into Henry Clay, one of the first things that I did, I got on the NCAA website to find out what exactly is a student athlete and what my son would need to do to become a student athlete. Mm-hmm. And we went from there, because I saw that there were classes he had to take. He had to keep up his GPA, things like that. And also, as an athlete, he had to work hard, or even harder. So, we just worked on that. And I continue, I keep in contact with his guidance counselor at school, to ask her questions. I've asked Coach Brown questions. And one of the things, too, I even went on colleges' websites and find out about student athletes. And one of the things that I love about Twitter is that I started following coaches who were giving tips to parents and to prospective recruits. And so I just started following them, reading their posts. I also, printed out the NCAA manual for parents and for students. And I gave Quest the one for students. And I said, here, you got to read this, because we got to understand what it takes to be an NCAA athlete.
Quez, how you holding up, knowing that with the virus and everything going around, and pretty much being shut out from doing a lot of the basketball things that you probably would have already started doing? How you been getting along and working on your game?
Right. It's tough. It's unfortunate that you can't go out and do the stuff the athletes do on a normal basis, but I'm not really doing anything different from other people that are just staying into. I mean, besides playing video games, just watching TV. I mean, I've hit the weights a little bit, my hand weights, and work on my ball handling a little bit. So that's just the stuff I could do at home. She won't let me go anywhere, so that's what I could do.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I admit, my kids, they go, they're pretty much stuck in the yard. If they're wanting to go outside, we'll let them go out back and that kind of thing. But it's just too, it's too concerning.
Too risky.
Yeah, and risky.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly. And that's what I tell him. I say, we don't have a basement at our house, so that's a disadvantage. But I've told him, move this table, move this chair. In fact, he said, no, I'll just, I can do it. I have enough space in my room. And so, he's been taking advantage of that. And even like when we have sunny days, I say, go and jog, go and jog around the neighborhood, get some sun. And plus, you're still putting in some exercise.
Yeah, I'll get another clip here of you, Quez, and maybe you can describe what's going on here in this one. This is the dunk on Scott County, if you remember that.
8-3, Henry Clay on top of Scott County. He earned it. He earned it. Here's a pass thrown away. Brown's got it. He leads it out to Quez. It's showtime! Marques with the dunk. 10-3, Henry Clay.
There's another dunk there from Quez. Quez, playing Scott County is always pretty exciting.
Yeah, a lot of tough battles for sure. My sophomore and junior year, it was tough beating them. Didn't get any my sophomore year, but we ended up getting that win, that game in the district championship game. That's probably one of my favorite moments at Henry Clay, most memorable. I didn't have my best game individually, but that didn't matter as long as we got the W. And I'm glad you guys were there to witness that.
Yeah, you had an outstanding career, as we mentioned there at Henry Clay. You closed out your senior season. I'm going to look here at your latest stats there, but it looks like you were at 23.2 points per game is what you finished the season averaging. And you had some help, too. I mean, you had, Marques Mackey. He had an excellent season. And then Dillard as well. He was pretty good as well for you guys.
Right. Yeah, you can't win games without a supporting cast. And, that's what they were. They were picking me up when I had some bad games. Marquise came up big. Sabian came up big some games. So, I mean, that's why we were so successful. I had good people around me.
Yeah, and you made them better, too.
Right. Yes. Another focal point in what I do offensively is find the open man. I have good vision, so I, just try to look for my teammates and the best shot available.
Yeah. Talk to me about the recruiting process for you, Quez, and what ultimately led you to your decision to go NKU.
Yeah, I mean, it started, I think it was after our last tournament, at last AAU tournament my freshman year, when I think my first school interested was like Moore State. We went to Orlando, and then after that, it started picking up my sophomore year. Northern Kentucky is actually one of the next schools interested my sophomore year. But, and the peak of it was going into my senior year, the summer. I had at least over 20, 25 schools interested in me. Ended up earning 7 offers going into my senior year. And, NKU, they were consistent from day one. That's the number one thing that I look for is the coaching staff and how we can build a relationship off the court and on the court. So, that's what they did. We won a couple of visits, and we really liked it. I did. The environment, they have a really good fan base, good campus, and a lot of different majors to choose from. So, it was a really good fit for me.
How did Coach Brown help you along the way doing what he does? Obviously, a very solid coach that you had there at Henry Clay.
Right. Yeah, we knew coming in that this was one of the story programs, high school programs in Kentucky. We knew I was going to have to work for my spot where my freshman year, and so I didn't get on varsity until January of my freshman year, and I didn't really score that much my freshman year, but he was really a good coach and taught me a lot of things. We had a lot of long talks off the court as well about a lot of stuff. So, I was appreciative that he was my coach, one of the best coaches I've had.
You played in one of the, most biggest games I think that high school has seen in a long time as far as the playoffs go there when you guys battled over there against, was it Scott County, right?
It was at Scott County against Douglas.
Yeah, at Scott County against Douglas. And that game, you went off. You had 50-something points in that game.
Right. it would have been better with the win, to be honest with you. But that's definitely another memorable moment in my high school career because it was my career high. I was doing everything I could to get a win for my team. Not only me, but everybody else. We did everything we could. Left it all on the floor, obviously, in double overtime, over 100 points. This is probably one of the craziest games I've ever played in. So
I think one of the
it was unfortunate.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate that it ended with a loss.
Yeah. Recalling back on some of the games that we had broadcast for you guys, remember that block that you had that you did in this one game that, we tried to get on SportsCenter. I believe it was against Louisville Moore, right?
Right.
Let me see if
I
I can
do.
pull that up. I'm gonna play this, and again, if you just want to kind of describe what's going on here, you really hustled down the floor to block this shot, from what I remember. Up ahead, and it's blocked from nowhere. Wow.
Darius Carver.
Then we slowed it down
got
for
it.
you
Warrick
too.
actually scored that, I believe. Let's watch that again. We're going to slow that one down. Watch this. Warrick sees it.
Yeah, I anticipated he was going to go up. So, I anticipated he was going to go up. And that's one of my strengths, too, is as a guard, I'm a good defensive player down low. I blocked a few shots. I think I average between 1 and 2 blocks a game. So, and I really have a knack for chasing down blocks on transition, too. So, I've done that for a long time.
Yeah, you kind of look like LeBron on that play. How he chases. He's classic on TV watching him do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of those too. So that's probably where I get it from. Honestly, my tendency to do it.
Yeah, I noticed. When you go to the basketball, games and you see those guys with certain looks, you're one of those guys that's got that look when you're out there and you see them in warm ups and things like that. I mentioned last night. We were talking a little bit NBA last night on the podcast, and I was like, there's a few guys that I've been able to, kind of point out and say, hey, that guy's going to be good. I mean, he's going to be really good. Andrew Wiggins, for example, when I saw him down at Marshall County Hoop Fest, I saw you obviously play. Kyle Rode was one of those guys, and then, when you run into some of the NBA players like LeBron over the summer, I was able to go out there and broadcast his son's games, but he was doing warm-ups and, things like that and ended up putting on a dunk show for us and warm-ups of his son playing. But, seeing guys like that and, saying, hey, Marques has got a body that, that's only going to get better. I mean, you're going to end up, when you go to the next level, they're going to put some weight on you, I'm sure. But you're so quick and chasing balls down like that, blocking them on the blackboard like that. Just amazing, man. You've definitely got the basketball body.
Right, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, that's ever since I've been recruited. That's one of the things I've heard from coaches, my high school coaches and college coaches, my parents, and myself. That told myself that that's one thing I need to improve going into the next level. Obviously everybody knows the skills are there, but will make a difference on the next level is my body and my weight, getting my strength up. So I think I'm definitely going to be preparing for that.
Who is some of your favorite players that you look up to?
Well, yeah, my favorite player of all time was Kobe, actually. But nowadays I like LeBron. I like Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily, look to model after their games, but those are just some of my favorite players. But I really like LeBron, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I don't really dislike anybody, honestly, but I have a few favorites.
You got a favorite NBA team?
The Lakers.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. When Michael retired, I was a big Michael Jordan fan, growing up, because that's who I grew up watching. When Kobe kind of took things over there in L.A., I became a Lakers fan, so I kind of jumped ship.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, ever since Kobe was there, That's what I've liked, even in the down years. So,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too. Well, Mom believes watches quite a bit. You know, when we were over at Henry Clay, you know, it seemed like the whole country tuned in. Talk to me about that and how important it was to have your family back at home watching Quez and everybody else that was sending in messages and things to us.
You know what? That's the reason why I am so grateful to PrepSpin, because, PrepSpin has made it available for, my family, friends, fans of Quest to watch the games, the Henry Clay games. Yes, they tune in. My dad, he is a local celebrity in Belize, and so a lot of people know him. He's on the radio. He, international musician. Works at the best radio station, and so a lot of people, know him, and they've been following us, and I'm just proud. I'm just proud. I always, say, gosh, me, little me from Belize, here I am in America, and I have, a son that's doing so wonderful. And, there's just, the support that's there. As a matter of fact, a couple years ago, the Belize team had asked, for Quest to be on the team. So they follow his career over the years, but it means so much to me, and I think that's one of the things like people don't understand. Like, it's not arrogance, it's not showing up. It's just a gratefulness that I have this opportunity to watch my child play the game of basketball in high school. It amazes me. It amazes me, because we don't have this type of organized sports in Belize. When I look at the shoes that the kids over here wear on their feet, $200 shoes, $300 shoes, kids can't afford those shoes. Parents can't afford those shoes. So for me, it's one of gratefulness, never forgetting where I come from, and just, thanking God, for this opportunity that we have here in Kentucky. So I believe, like, even tonight, they're watching. One of the sweetest part for me is after a Henry Clay game. My dad would call and he'll be like, "Oh my gosh, whoo, Henry Clay. I had to get up, I had to get up." And he would tell me he had to get up and take a break, because it's like Henry Clay was leading by 10, going into the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden they have this team, coming back. He's like, "Oh my goodness." But, and then I have, so many, people, referring to him as their nephews, so it's and I love it. It's just something of gratefulness and appreciation. And I also, it just goes also to speak of Henry Clay, that they recognize how important this is, and every opportunity that you guys get to broadcast a Henry Clay game, is wonderful, is great. So I'm just thankful about that.
Well, I appreciate that. Quez, how important is Mr. Basketball to you? Should you get it? I know you really want it bad, but tell me what it would mean to you to receive that.
yeah, it would mean a lot to me. It's probably one of the main goals I've had going into high school is the Mr. Basketball Award. That's besides the state championship. That's probably the most important thing to me. Just it shows all the accomplishments and accolades and the hard work that I put in, which I've done a lot of that, and it would just mean a lot to me, Henry Clay, my family. It would be great to get it, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking on the I'm looking at your stats right now here on the KHSA website and I'm looking to see, obviously we talked about, 23.2 points per game. We see that for you. And then as far as your field goal percentage, you shot from the field 54% pretty much from the field. That's pretty daggone good. So that means every shot that you put up, 54% of the time it went in. And we know how you had to earn a lot of those shots. Looking back at some of the footage. Looking here for your 3-point percentage, you hit 69 threes your senior season and shot 44% from three. You also was a really good free throw shooter, shot 82% from the free throw line. Matter of fact, you made 148 free throws on the season. That's quite a few trips to the line. And then you averaged 5 rebounds a game too. That's pretty big considering that you're a guard out there doing big things. I mean, you're crashing the boards.
All right. Yeah.
Any idea what the assists look like? Because I know you were quite a good passer too.
I think it was at least 3 or 4 a game.
Yeah.
So, just that and rebound was what I wanted to complement my scoring to help my team. So
Plus your blocks and steals.
Yeah, blocks aren't listed on the final stats
Right.
there, but we know. I mean, we've got footage of several really amazing blocks, and altered shots too. That's the other thing that they don't account for. But you altered a lot of shots. You guys finished the season 24-6 on the season. One of Henry Clay's best years in a long, long time. And then the team scored over 2,000 points on the season as well. And matter of fact, in the toughest region in the state, arguably the toughest region in the state, you guys went 13-2 on the season.
Right.
That's Mr. Basketball numbers, Quest.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think a lot of people's numbers can get any better than that. But obviously it's up to the coaches, up to the media, decide on who they want to win. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great year for me. I'm proud of what I've done. So
Yeah, that's what I tell kids too. For me, just seeing all the Quest has done over the years, and for some people that have not followed Quest since middle school, Quest has been doing this. Even he said, like, even when he had a bad night, he contributed in other ways. And for me, I tell Quest, you're Mr. Basketball for me. For what you have done over whether they want to do it over the years or just your senior year. But one of the things that I'm realizing is that it seems like there are some cliques, there's politics, and I remember, I mentioned to Coach Brown, I'm like, I don't know what's up with people, but it's like they have something against Henry Clay. That's just the vibe. I see stuff that people put on social media. I mean, I'll tell you what, even being his mom, I've had some rough nights. I mean, I've had parents come up to me and tell me about my child.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff on social media that they post, and that's why that's one of the things that I wanted to address as a parent in the recruitment. I always tell parents, you got to watch how you carry yourself as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Whether when you're sitting in those stands, because you never know who is around. I remember when Bellarmine was recruiting Kim, Coach Davenport said, I knew you were Quest's mom in about 2 or 3 seconds. He said it didn't take long because I was cheering. And even that, there's so many studies out there about being a good sport parent, and I think all that goes into the recruiting and into the attitude of and actions of your student athlete. So for me, Quest is Mr. Basketball. He did everything that he could to help his team. And yes, he's competitive. And I'm not going to take that away from him. And that's how you get to the next level. You're competitive. So you do all you can to help your team win. So whether they win, whether they lose, I'm with them. Another thing that I really wanted to address with parents is the AAU.
Mm-hmm.
AAU, the recruiting changed how coaches are able to recruit. So one of the things that I tell parents, you got to look again, it's all about your child's vision and goal. What is the goal? What is your child trying to accomplish? For Quest, he knew he wanted to play at a higher level. So we worked on that. He started out AAU with the ice, I believe. Was in middle school? In middle school. Well, he said, Mom, there is another team that travels more that will give me, more opportunities to play with other kids around the country. We said, okay. So he went on the CKY Magic. I would never hold on my child from developing, from playing with competition. So when the NCAA changed the recruiting rules, where they had these dead periods and, coaches were only going to go to certain venues, we're like, okay, well, his goal is to get here. What can we do? So he said, I'm going to play with Manimal, and we support that. I want to tell people that, Manimal Elite, they told us from day one, we're not promising anything, but this is what we can do. We're going to get Quest in those tournaments where the coaches will be, the Division I coaches will be. It's going to be up to Quest to perform. On all three teams, he was never a starter. He didn't start. But you know what? That didn't change his attitude. Whenever his name was called to go on that court, he got up off that bench, he went on the court, and he performed. And that's what he did with Manimal. He didn't start. He came off the bench. That's how he got his first offer off the bench. So I just want to tell parents and to encourage parents, you got to do what's best for you and your child. You got to help your child achieve their goals. For me, I know that we needed a scholarship. We needed a scholarship, So Manimal Elite played where D1 coaches were. And Quest, when his name was called, he got on that court. Did he start out hot? No, he didn't. And I remember telling people, don't you count Quest out. Don't count him out. And as the summer progressed, his game elevated. As he said, Northern recruited him during a recruiting period for high school when they played at Collins over the summer. That's how he got his offer from Northern Kentucky University. Another thing was when the NCAA said, you know what, we're going to do the NCAA Academy. Well, again, a lot of people were negative about it. For me, I'm like, Quest, this is an opportunity, right. That you are getting. We're going to take advantage of this opportunity. So when there is an opportunity that presents itself, You got to take it. It's nothing personal. It's not personal. And we got to stop, especially in the AAU arena, got to stop putting kids against each other and program against program. It's not about that at all. It's not about that. We went to the NCAA Academy in Illinois, at Champaign, in Champaign, Illinois. I benefited from that as a parent because they had parent classes. Why would you as a parent not want to attend something like that to learn more how your child can get recruited? What are the questions you can ask of coaches when they're recruiting your child? Also, the rules, the NCAA rules, you got to know them. So for me, that was an advantage, so that when coaches are calling to recruit them and what's not, or when we went on unofficial and even official visits, I was able to ask those questions that I learned from the academy. I believe Quest got an offer from the academy. It wasn't a waste of time for us. I believe it helps people in Quest's situation who is not a 3-star or a 4-star or, a 5-star recruit. So I just want to tell parents, let your kids play with teams that have real connections to the coaches that will get them in front of coaches in tournaments where these coaches are, if that is your child's goal. But please don't be negative just because a child went that way. You can't kill a kid's dream. Don't do it. It's awful. Don't do it. So I just want to encourage parents about that. And also, it doesn't matter if your child is coming off the bench. What matters is what your child does when his name or her name is called to go on that court and do what they need to do.
Yeah, Quez, what do you know about any of your new teammates that you're going to be playing with up at NKU?
Yeah, like I said, I went on a few visits there, so they gave me time and even my parents to connect with the players there. What I know about them for sure, they all have winning mentalities. Obviously they were about to go to the NCAA tournament. They've been 3 of the 4 years, so they all have winning mentality. They know what it's like playing up there. But yeah, they're all good guys. I know one in particular, Trayvon Faulkner, former Mr. Basketball here in Kentucky. We bonded pretty well on my visit there, and a few other guys. So.
I'm gonna let you keep talking. I mean, you mentioned Trayvon. Well, we got Trayvon here.
Yeah, Trayvon. Yeah, he was a big part of their success. Average double figures, I believe. So I mean, I'm glad he stayed. They had a couple people transfer from the last week. So I'm glad he's staying. So then we're gonna look up to him.
Yeah, you guys will make a heck of a dynamic duo up there at NKU. They're trying to make a run in the tournament as one of these one of these Cinderella teams, I guess you could say.
Right. Yeah, that's Coach Darren Horn from Lexington. First year as head coach there. That's one of his goals to be a power mid major, similar to what Butler did years ago, and I think we're on the right trend in doing that. And it started this year. We made the tournament. Unfortunately, we couldn't see what they were going to do, but I think we'll see that in the future, though.
Yeah, you got a bright future ahead of yourself up there under Coach Horn, because he spent some time down at Texas A&M? Was it Texas or just Texas? Yeah. So he was down there with who was the head coach down there? Can you help me out?
Shaka Smart.
Okay,
Shaka Smart.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got the smarts, man. He comes from a basketball family. His brother Greg Horn is the voice of Lexington Christian Academy athletics over there. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but
yeah, I've met with him a few times. So yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm definitely gonna make sure that I tune into some Norse basketball next year. I mean, they've got like you mentioned, Trayvon. They've got you now, and then on the girls' team too, they've got a couple of the Mercer County girls, I believe, as well. So, just amazing times, man. Some of you kids that we get to cover here on the network are living big dreams at the next level. That's amazing.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So what do you got going on outside of basketball? I mean, obviously, you kind of locked down right now with the virus out there, but what do you got going on?
In terms of like literally right now, I mean, just watching TV, playing 2K with my friends.
You like
not much to
2K?
do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2K. What about any other video games? What do you like?
I've always been a sports video game type of guy, so every once in a while, though, if they want to get on Fortnite, I would do that too, but I'm not good at it, so they'll carry me to wins. Besides that, I mean, not much. I watch a few shows like Netflix, or I watch a lot of YouTube as well, so I got myself occupied.
And eat a lot.
eats a lot. I've got a son that's growing right now too. He's wanting to play baseball, and man, he's eating me out of house and home right now. Every time I look, he's in the refrigerator,
Yep.
But he likes those video games too. But yeah, so Northern Kentucky's getting a gym up there with you, and then the Mr. and Miss Basketball announcement. They moved it back because of everything that's going on with the COVID situation, but that should happen. I want to say sometime in June.
Oh.
They should be doing it, especially if school goes back which I don't know if you guys will go back to school or not, because they pushed it back to May 1st. I mean, that really only gives you guys 10 or 15 days really to be back at school. So they may even push that back. What does that affect you at all? I mean, as far as your your senior year, if you look back and say, if they say, hey, we're not coming back to school, what's your thoughts on that?
I would say a good word describes like bittersweet. I would say. I mean, I'm definitely gonna miss high school. My senior year, like, it wasn't bad at all. I'm in like an internship program, and it's unfortunate I didn't get to finish it out. I was over at UK with the athletic trainer who was over gymnastics, and so it was cool going over there, see what they do. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate also that there might not be prom. So I mean, I'll never say I'll get to go to one. It was Henry Clay was fun overall, and it'd be unfortunate if they cancel everything.
Yeah, I feel bad for you kids. Not being able to do the prom, not being able to possibly walk the stage. We want to see all of you all walk the stage. That's important. If you do anything, I think that's what you guys should be able to do, is walk the stage.
All right, yeah. I don't know how I feel if even graduation got canceled. I don't want to see it happen, but if it happens, I guess it would be the right choice though. So,
Mom, what's your thoughts on all that?
Oh man, it's hard. It's difficult. I remember when we received the graduation cap and the gum and the stole in the mail. Or you brought it home, right? He brought it home, which was early February. You brought it home. I want to say maybe January or early February when he brought it home, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, graduation is right around the corner." I was looking forward to that, and even with his prom, because he didn't go to junior prom because he was playing AAU. That was during one of the live recruiting period last year, so he didn't get to go to junior prom. So this would have been his year, but in the bigger scheme of things, whatever they have to do because, people's lives matter. We don't want kids to get sick. We don't want, administrators to get sick. So, we will see what happens. But I'm just, from an academic standpoint, I'm just grateful that he took care of his academics. He has already been accepted into NKU. I believe he got accepted December, January. December. Academically, he got accepted into the university. Everything is set with him. As a matter of fact, I know that, when the NKU, one of the coaches had called, they're like, as soon as we can, get, students come back on campus, Quest will be up there, because one of the goals was, for him to start summer school, at least 2 classes over the summer, just to be a little ahead of the game. But, for me, I'm grateful about that his grades are good. So, if they go to a pass fail, I don't know, what they're going to do, that's good. And that's one of the other things I want to encourage parents to, when we're talking about recruiting, that academics come first. Because I remember in the early stages of the recruiting, his guidance counselor and even Coach Brown would, send me a message. Oh, this university, this coach called, about Quest, or sent me an email and they're requesting his transcript. Grades are important from your freshman year. Those follow you all the way through. So, for Quest, that was another goal that he had set. That for his senior year, he wouldn't have to worry about ACT and trying to make up any grades. So he took care of his grades and his ACT, by the end of his junior year. So that helped a lot. And so I just want to encourage parents to make sure that that your student athlete is on top of the academics.
That's great words right there, and definitely great advice. Knowing that that grades is important, and how you are off the field is also equally as important. How you are on the field, or in your case, the court.
Right, because it doesn't matter how many offers you have. It doesn't matter. You still got to get admitted into the university as a student. You still got to meet the university's guidelines with your ACT and with your GPA.
Exactly.
So academics matter.
All right. Well, was there anything that we haven't touched on tonight that you guys want to talk about?
No. I just want to say thank you to Coach Brown and all the coaching staff over my high school years, and all the fans, the Henry Clay supporters, people who follow me. Thank you to you all as well for providing a platform to student athletes, not only for basketball, but football. You guys do football, soccer, volleyball as well. I hope that continues to grow over the state. So I just thank you. Appreciate
that, Quest. We're big fans of yours. Big fans of your mom too. We've got to know your mom this season, and I got to tell you, man, you got a great mother there.
Appreciate that. Yeah, she's done everything she could, and she's taught me a lot of things that are valuable for life. So just thank her for that.
Yeah, and of course, I know you guys want to give a shout out to all the folks watching back in Belize tonight, right?
Hey, Belize! Hi.
They're all watching.
Yeah, I forgot to bring my flag.
Hey, that's all right. We'll definitely plug that on there if we get a chance to. Of course, follow you guys on Twitter. Quez, what's your Twitter handle?
Marques _Warrick.
Okay, and then Therese.
Mine is Therese Wright.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. You guys, I really appreciate your all's time. It's been a great show, and all thanks to you.
Thank you so very much. Thanks, PrepSpin. Scholastic Ball Report. We've been fans since he was in elementary school. We've been fans of Scholastic Ball Report. And to the other media houses, or Martin Media, Pure Prospects. What was the other one that did that video over the summer? Hype TV, Prep Hoops Kentucky. Just to everyone who has really put Kentucky kids out there. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. All of them are great organizations that put the kids first, and love to highlight the student athletes. And Quez, again, we'll be watching you. We'll be watching you play college ball next season. I'm definitely not going to miss a NKU game. I'm excited for you.
North up.
Exactly. I need to get them to send me a shirt. I'll wear it. Probably wear it. But you guys make sure you check back in with us and let us know how college is going once you get enrolled up there and everything. Or anytime you want to check in with us, man. You know how to DM us.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Appreciate all the coverage over the years. Thank you all.
All right, man. You're awesome. Good luck, Quez.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night.
You too, Miss Wright. Thank you. All right, that was Marques and his mother. They're talking with us here live on the PrepSpin podcast. What a great show tonight! You heard from a parent's perspective the recruiting process that Quez and her went through, and then you heard all kinds of great little nuggets, if you will, as far as gems that you can take and use for advice. When your kids are being recruited, that's exciting things, and we're excited that we were able to share that with you tonight on the show. Thanks again to Therese and Marques for all that they have done for us. All right, so we're going to end the show here tonight. Again, a big thank you to our title sponsor here on the network, Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. I'm going to show you guys a little sweet and hot here. Sweet and hot. We got the Cajun style. We got barbecue. Got some mild up here, too. Got a lot of it. And we appreciate all their support here on the network. Also live here from the BGO studio. And appreciate Bluegrass Orthopedics, Atkinson Sims and Commode PLLC. If you're thinking about bankruptcy, give them a call as well. My good friend John Sims, he'll take care of you. And Lexington Diagnostic Center, I want to thank those fine folks as well for all they do for us here on the network. This is William Warfield, the King of Stream. Until next time, so long, everybody.